Boom. And we are live with another episode of the Meat Mafia podcast. We are joined here with the man himself, Cal Reynolds. Cal, how we doing, brother?
We're doing great, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
We're excited, man. We're excited. I know Clemenza and I, it's cool to see the relationships that you can form over Twitter and social media. I know Clemenza and I both started following you. I think Solbra retweeted, or he posted on Instagram he reposted a potato recipe that you made like 6 months ago. And that's when I first saw you. And I've personally replicated a bunch of your recipes. So we both gained a ton of value. So we're pumped to now be friends with you and have a great little conversation here.
For sure, man. I'm excited too, dude. And it's crazy. Like you said, the world of social media, it could be demonized, but if you use it to your advantage and as a tool, it could be one of the best things for you. Like you said, it helps you connect with similar-minded people like ourselves and people like Solbra, big account, and it just builds that community of similar-minded individuals that allows us all to feed off each other and level up. So I'm happy we crossed paths, man.
100%. And I mean, I think Clemenza, I think it's safe to say that he's officially a member of the Meat Mafia too. We'll have to give him his little baptism.
Without question. He's a godfather status. I mean, I feel like I basically am in his kitchen every time he's cooking. Whenever I see one of those pictures of just a perfectly cut steak and you can see the flaky salt. If you're not following this man already, give him a follow.
I appreciate it, guys.
The sear is too good, but yeah, Cal, you're an interesting guy because we were thinking there's so many different ways that we could take this conversation. And I know we're definitely going to focus on food, but we would personally love to start the conversation off just learning a little bit more about your own personal journey with nutrition and physical fitness, because we know that one of your more popular Twitter posts was just showing a transformation that you'd made over, I think it's the course of 2 years. And it's incredible to see those two pictures. So we'd love to just dig into that a little bit more and how your personal journey has been.
Awesome. Yeah. So long story short, because we'll fast forward a little bit before I got to that first picture in 2019, but it was about 8th grade when I was overweight to wrestle heavyweight for my middle school. And that's where it really hit me. Yeah. That I was like, all right, something needs to change. I was raised, not to dive into my whole childhood, obviously we're on a tight schedule, but didn't have the easiest upbringing, financially, parents divorced, blah, blah, all those kind of things. Poor standard American diet, all growing up, chips, fucking fast food, welfare, food stamps, all the low brands, everything like that. So I didn't really have an idea of what health was, but I always knew what hard work was, because I played football, other sports, and sports were my escape from my reality in a way. So my coaches were always great mentors to me growing up. I had some cool teachers, stuff like that. Fast forward, so I get to wrestling. And yeah, I was overweight to freaking make weight for heavyweight. So it was 250 was the weight limit in 8th grade. And I was probably 5'10", dude, 260, bro. So wow. Yeah, I was a house. So I started learning of it was a wake up call. I got to start losing weight. You know what I mean? So now to all you guys listening, I do not recommend. It was very unhealthy what I did, especially at the age of 13 or 14 or however you old are. But I started Googling how wrestlers lose weight and stuff. And I was covering myself in garbage bags in plastic and running up and down the staircase in my house with hoodies on, double sweatpants, as if I was going outside in negative 10-degree weather, dude. And I would just sweat every day and didn't eat a lot, bare minimum, was drinking water. And I didn't really know how to cook. This is when I started cooking too. This is where it all falls in. Enough! Sorry, my dog.
You got the pit bull going?
Yeah, the little pit bull's going. But so I started seeing bodybuilders, how they eat chicken and stuff. And I was so gross. Never would do this again in my life. I was boiling chicken, dude. Just boiling frozen chicken breast until it was all the way white through. And I was eating that with mustard and shit, 0 because I didn't know, dude. I just thought in my head, sweat as much as I can, eat the lowest amount of calories, but focus on protein. And bro, the weight was coming off quick. I got down from about 260 in 8th grade to right before. So this was over the course of 2 months, about 60 pounds. So from 260 to 200. But my energy, and I didn't know, I'm on that euphoric high of feeling good because I'm getting lean, skinny, 14 years old, feeling confident. But the damage it did to my body from how quick I did it and how unhealthy I did it was terrible. I had to actually go to the hospital because I was randomly like blacking out, like not full on fainting, but I'd get these spells where everything would turn black and I'd get crazy dizzy. And they did like my blood work and stuff. And I was borderline, I think borderline diabetic in one way, but like not from too much sugar, but from no sugar. Like my blood levels were all fucked up. I don't remember what the exact diagnosis was, but so that was like a huge wake up call to like, all right, I need to learn more about nutrition. So anyway, fast forward, I go to high school. I went to a prestigious high school, St. Ed's, Cleveland, Ohio. It's like a powerhouse for sports and stuff. And I was very intimidated, dude. I knew no one going there. And I knew like if I wanted to keep my own around that place, you know, it's a very good like sports, all guys. I had to hit the weights hard. And I always loved, once I got into that journey of like the sweating and running up and down the stairs, the wrestling, that kind of molded me into the fitness too. Cause I was like, bro, this feels good. Like I'm seeing the transformation. But I didn't get into weightlifting until I got to St. Ed's, really. That's when I really got into it. And with my schedule and my mom and everything, like I would have to get dropped off most days at 4:45, 5 a.m.
Wow.
Because it was like 35 minutes from my house and she had to work. So that's when I started falling in love with the weight room. Cause I'm like, oh, like I'm here, I might as well start working out, you know? So that like became my routine. And there's some days I'd get dropped off at 5 and wouldn't get picked up till 8 p.m. So I'd be at the school that long. So dude, I'd work out twice a day. I'd do it in the morning and do it at night. And the more fast forward to that picture you're talking about. So in high school, I really transformed myself, got super into fitness. I knew this was going to be a for life kind of thing, the health and wellness. At first I took the more of like, you know, most people, the like bodybuilding, because you see the swole dudes on YouTube and that's, oh, I want to look like him. So that's what I started to learn how to eat, making rice, chicken, broccoli, and just, you know, the money was tight. So like whatever my mom was willing to get me, so I'd eat whatever I could get my hands on protein wise. But like, it's so weird too to think now how I eat steak every day. Like, that's why I don't eat, that's the real reason I don't eat chicken right now, by the way, is like, it's not that I'm against chicken. Obviously red meat's way better, but I just ate it so much that it just grosses me out. But so anyways, I started learning about the basics of nutrition, fitness, and bodybuilding, and like powerlifting through like my football workouts. So Coach Finati, he was my coach at Ed's, and also in college. I lucked out, got him double. Shout
out Coach Finati.
Yes,
love Coach
Finati. He loves you guys. He actually said you guys are putting together a carnivore plan for him.
Yeah, we've been talking to him because he said he wants to do a few week challenge. So I got him. I sent him a couple links and helped put together a program for him. So he's incredible.
We got to get him going. But anyway, yeah. So he and I got really close when I was in 8th grade in high school, and he really like helped me find my passion for the weight room along with some other coaches there. And so throughout high school, I was pretty, you know, I was a good athlete, good physical structure, strong, but the elements, I was also a party kid, you know, I was partying on the weekends and shit like that, which obviously factors in. But I never was like, I was the standard, what you see now in the fitness industry of eating the macro way, you know what I mean? Like, oh, get my protein, carbs, and fats, doesn't really matter where they're from. Shakes every day, protein bars every day, all these supplements. And that kind of carried into college. Same similar lifestyle, like looked healthy, was healthier than most, but still, you know, drinking, protein shakes, all that, blah, blah, blah. And then I hated my first college and I kind of went into a deep depression and I transferred out. And that's when that picture you were talking about, whatever, the 2019, I think it was, I think that was the year, I moved home. And I didn't want to go back to college. And bro, I just went on this, Fortnite was like the popular video game at the time. And I never was a video gamer, but like I got hooked on that, dude. I was eating fucking like shit, going to the gym for hours. But like, I was like, don't get me wrong, I was pretty fucking strong because I was so thick and big, dude. But I was eating like shit. And just, I realized I'm like, this is not how I want to live, man. So, you know, I just felt disgusted with myself every day. And it like flipped again in my head, kind of like it did in 8th grade. Like, what are you doing, dude? Get your shit together. So I kind of got back on track. And that's when Coach Finati took the job at John Carroll. That's where I went to college. And it worked out perfect. He, you know, he convinced me. And I was really rebellious at first. I was like telling him, no, I'm done with football, like blah, blah, blah. So he got me back at John Carroll and then finished out through there. And then when it really dialed into the person I am now, and in terms of my philosophies on health and wellness, was about 2 years ago when I lived on my own. So I was out of the college scene. And when I started living alone and making all my own food, doing the food page on Instagram and stuff like that, I started diving deeper into nutrition because I was following accounts like yourselves and just kind of doing my own research, because I always, you know, especially in America, we have this perception of health is just the way you look. And that was kind of the long, like, well, in which don't get me wrong. Yes, you want to look good. Like if you look good, you feel good, you feel more confident, but health is so much more. And that word gets thrown around like crazy. And there's so many different meanings to it. And it obviously comes down to the individual and what their philosophies are. But for me, I realized, yeah, I always physically look good, but why am I having these digestive issues? You know, why is my energy low after I work out? Like, why is my sleep off? Why is my skin breaking out? And like, even fast forward, like perfect example right now, like I ate like shit at a family party on Sunday because I was starving. And I'm like, fuck, I know I'm going to break out. And I like broke out. Like it's a true, and people don't realize when you cleanse your body and switch to the whole natural food diet and cut out all the bullshit, you'll notice dramatically how bad that stuff impacts you and how much it can affect all the things within. So anyway, I got on the Instagram and the internet. I started self-educating myself more and diving deeper into the nutrition and stuff like that, and training philosophies. But more of the nutrition is where I made a difference. I still train hard as I always did and stuff like that. But I was like, you know, I started learning like the posts you post with like the companies and how it all trickles down, and how there's so much ingredients made in labs that we don't even know that we think is healthy because it's promoted that way, or just because this powder has 30 grams of protein, it's good for you, but you don't take into consideration all the little things that are put into it to make it taste that way and to make it be that way. So about a year and a half ago is when I got on this wave, like hardcore, like eliminated processed foods. Very, like, obviously we're human, dude. It's the modern world.
Yeah.
Once in a blue moon, we're going to enjoy ourselves and eat something. Completely like rid of myself of that. Switching to the grass-fed meats predominantly, organic predominantly, like, and trying to make all those like cleaning products, shampoo, like, and I'm still only scratching the surface, dude. Like I've only been at this for about a year, but after doing my own research and learning how corrupt the food industry is and all those things, and COVID was a big wake up call, you know, like with all this shit that went down. Obviously, I'm not going to dive into all the politics and my views and everything, but I'm sure you guys know what I mean. It's just a fucked up world we're in right now. And like you put on Twitter, dude, we got to take it you got to take your health into your own hands and realize what your body needs and what we're meant to eat and be fueled on, and find what specifically works for your human body and do it to your best available way. But the key is to make sure that you realize that it's particular to you. So what's going to work for you, Brett or Salazzo, Clemenza, Harry's, I don't even know what to call you guys on here.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
might be a little different than what works best for me. But the key basis is the general rules to follow that my philosophies I've adopted over the last year to get me to where I'm at now with you know, a shredded physique with less work in the weight room, less cardio, and more calorie consumption, is eating whole foods, eliminating processed foods, staying away from the high sugar refined stuff, and really cutting out a lot of the bullshit like filler supplements that you don't really need. And honestly, just trying to get the most possible nutrients you can through real food, and then supplementing where it's actually needed. And that's kind of where I'm at now to today. And I feel better than I've ever been. I sleep better than I ever have. I digestively am better than I've ever been. And I think it's all just stemmed from cutting out the bullshit. And it's crazy because you can see now the big differences when you do consume that kind of stuff and how it impacts your body.
And the other thing too with you, Cal, is like not only are you shredded and you're big to be that low body fat percentage, your energy and your mindset is incredible too. I know you've gotten really you have a whole separate mindset account as well. And I would have to think that some of the changes that you've made the last year with your diet have probably helped you in terms of just like, you know, mitigating anxiety, making you feel positive about the future. Like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I mean, you're one of the most positive people we know on the internet.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. And that just goes back into my whole thing of we have this perception of health is the way you look, where it is so much more than just your outside physical appearance. When you start shifting the way you eat and what you're putting into your body, it'll impact everything, not just the way you look, but the way you feel, the way you think, the way you operate, the way you communicate with others. And it's a tough pill for people to swallow because, one, it's not normal. It's not normal to take your health that serious, especially in the world we live in today. I was talking to my friend last night, and this is the crazy thing to think about. You guys can reflect on it yourself. regardless of race, gender, ethnics, or whatever you believe in, financial class, everything. It still has never been easier as a human being to be healthy than it is today. Yet, all those things factored in again, we are the most unhealthy as a species today.
Yeah.
And that's simply because we have access to all these things. Regardless, when I was, living off of welfare with my mom and we were broke as hell, I was still able to eat eggs, chicken breasts, make my own rice. Was it the best quality? Absolutely not. But was it better than eating frozen shit or McDonald's? Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just live in a day and age where, not just in terms of health and wellness, but I think everything is people want the results without doing the work. And it just, it simply doesn't work that way. I fell into the trap. I'm not perfect, but like I said, you got to shift your mind and shift your perspective to realize that anything you want to acquire in your life is going to take some effort and work. And it's the same with your health and wellness. It's the same with your physical appearance, your fitness level. You have to take it into your own hands to be willing to learn and have an open mind approach, and then take that information you take in and trial and error with your body. So that's what we're all doing here. It's all just an experiment in the grand scheme of things. It's just who's going to be willing to take more risks, do more work to learn and get education, and experiment with themselves to find the most fulfilling, happy way to go about their life.
Yeah, I think that's so perfectly said. It's like the self-experimentation thing is, for me, a thing that a lot of people shy away from, that they are just missing out on so many opportunities to empower different aspects of their life. Like just by taking a little bit of a risk and like going and trying a diet or a lifestyle that you're not doing for 2 weeks and really lean into it. It's easier said than done for a lot of people, because I think change really does require a certain amount of willpower. But once you tap into that, you can really see your entire life start to change just through the way you eat. Like you've proven to yourself that, hey, like I'm in control here. Like I can actually do stuff and see results on the other side. So I love that part of your story where the 8th grade you taps into this willpower, and then it seems like you were able to continue to tap into that at different points when maybe you started to falter a little bit. Like I relate to that story. Like, willpower is kind of the basis of all of it, where when you need to like hone it in and start to like really focus, you can capture it. So I think that's a really powerful part of your story, dude.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's like a saying I love. It's where there's a will, there's a way. And it simply comes down to the willpower. And having a strong willpower, going back to what you said, Brett, does stem from what you're putting into your body. If you're putting good fuel into your body and eating well, you're going to feel better. And you're going to look better. And when you have those things, you feel and look better, you're going to be more confident. And when you're more confident, you're going to be more willing to go put yourself out there and take risks and try new things, and whatever aspect it is too. And that's the biggest thing that people, because as you guys know, like I do the online training and stuff. I'm going to get more into that down the road. Got to finish some things. But anyway, with the small amount of people I'm working with right now, that's what I preach to them is I'm like, you're not changing just your physical appearance, okay? What you're changing is your lifestyle, the way you think. You're going to be a better parent, a better sibling, a better partner, a better employee, a better boss, whatever it is that you do. Taking your health and nutrition and those kind of things serious trickles into all of those aspects of life. And when people realize that and start seeing the progress, it almost becomes addicting. Like for you guys, I don't know about you with your journeys, but it's an addiction to keep bettering yourself every single day. And that's like where I'm at. Like,
Totally.
Am I rich yet? Did I accomplish all my goals? Am I the best appearance and best physical attribute I want to be? No, absolutely not. But I'm making progress each day, and that's what gets me out of bed, and that's what makes me want to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's so powerful, and it's interesting for you too. It sounds like you really first started taking autonomy over the food you were putting into your body. You said when you were living on your own. And so when did you start to realize that you had a talent for cooking? Is it something that you just like cultivated over time? Like how has your whole progression with food been over the last few years?
So I always did love to cook when I was a kid. Like if I was at my grandma's house, or when I was really young and my mom like wanted help in the kitchen, I was always a kid. I was like, yeah, I'll help. You know what I mean? So I always kind of had a knack for it. Like it was always something I enjoyed to do. But fast forward, when I moved home from college, you know, when I went in that very heavy, depressed state of mind, I was cooking just on like, bro, I'd get stoned and just me and my brother, and I'd make the most unhealthy shit, dude.
Yeah.
And we'd smash it, bro. It was just so bad. But that's kind of when the creative side got into it. Because in high school, I did all my own meal prepping stuff. Like, I'm healthy and into this lifestyle and love my family to death, but they're not on this wave. So they're converting though. My sister and brother, older brother and sister, they've came tremendous ways. They're both down almost 100 pounds on their own journey. Like, they're getting after it. But they're starting to follow along. But yeah, dude. So anyway, when I went back to John Carroll, my roommates were like, bro, you should make a food page. Like, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. Like, cause I was into it, you know, like I like cooking. Like I took my time to do it. And then, I made the Instagram, and, you know, it didn't like blow up or anything right away. And I was just posting like, you know, the things I made, and it was nothing extravagant, but, like, you know, it was pretty cool. And then just the more it grew, honestly, the more I got into it. Like, you kind of know how it goes, like what your tweets, like the more you go viral, the more you're like, dude, that's freaking awesome. Like, I'm changed, like people are feeding into this. They like this. So you want to do it more. And, I started getting more into it, like following other food accounts and learning like stuff they do. And in the grand scheme of things, it just really came natural to me, like the cooking. Like I have no desire to ever be a chef. Like, people think that, like, I'm like I have no desire to have a restaurant like maybe one day if I have the funds, but like that's not my calling in life. But it is a good skill that I acquired that I think every human should be capable of doing. And, you know, I love it. And like you said, it all contributes to your health. If you're making the majority of the food you eat, you're in control of the ingredients, the measurements, everything that goes into it. So you're in demand. Now, a little background on my food like story in the cooking. So before you followed me and we like connected, I actually was like more of like a food porn account. So this was about 2 years ago. Cause remember, I made this whole life holistic health change like a year and a half ago. But about 2 years ago, when I first started popping on social media, Instagram, like TikTok, dude, it was like I was eating healthy, but like I was only posting the unhealthy stuff because that's what people like to see. You know what I mean? They like to see the freaking deep fried, glorious, like unhealthy American shit. You know what I mean? And that's so I was posting this, I was going out of my way to make these unhealthy things that I wasn't really even eating. I would take like a couple bites, but they were going viral. And I'm like, once I hit, I think like, I don't know, 15K on Instagram and was growing on TikTok, I just wasn't, I'm like, this isn't even who I am. Like, I felt like a phony, dude, like a fraud. Cause I'm like, people are like commenting, you know, cause they've seen pictures of me, but I wasn't posting like myself. And they'd be like, how are you still in shape, but you eat like this? And like, the reality is I don't eat like this. I'm literally just, you know what I mean? I don't eat this kind of stuff. And that's when I like had a real revelation with myself. I'm like, if I'm going to put myself on social media, it needs to be 100% of who I truly am. Like, I'm not going to post this food porn looking shit for views and likes if I don't even actually eat it or believe in it. Like, I don't believe in eating this way. Why am I promoting this? You know? And that kind of hit me like a year and a half ago. And that's when I kind of made the switch to sticking to primarily the way I live and my actual lifestyle and what I eat. And, you know, it was a tough transition at first because, you know, a lot of my followers are, I don't know, I'm assuming just typical unhealthy people. And they're probably pissed because I did lose, like, on Instagram, you can see your analytics and all that stuff. I'm sure you guys know, like, from Twitter. And like, if I didn't lose so many followers from when I kind of made the transition, but I've also gained a ton. So it like balances out. So like people who go on my profile don't notice, but like I was plateaued at followers for so long because I kept gaining some that were about the new lifestyle, you know, but I was losing tons too.
Got it.
So, but it is what it is. And that was what at first I was like, do I want to switch one? I'm like, I have to. I feel like a phony. I feel like a fraud. I'm posting these super unhealthy things that I'm not even truly eating. Like, yeah, it's cool. You know, it's cool to take a bite or two and taste it, but this isn't who I am. And this isn't what I want to promote. So as I made this transition to that more healthier stuff, and when we kind of connected, I'm like, and I found a community like our Twitter community and all those other people. Like, that's the kind of people I want to be around. Like, you can make healthy food look and taste good, and your body craves it more. Like, people ask me all the time, like, dude, don't you get sick of steak? I'm like, no, I look forward to it every day. It's satiating, it's delicious. My body craves it. Same thing with all the things I eat. I'm sure you guys are the same with your diets and what you eat. When you know how the food impacts you internally and how it makes you feel, you will naturally crave it. And that's a big thing I tell people I work with is like, quit worrying about tracking every little thing you're eating and all this stuff. worry about the quality of what you're eating, not the quantity. If you're putting quality things into your body, you're going to get results.
And that's why your account is so good too, is that you're able to take these really healthy dishes and show people how to prepare them the right way. It's like, yeah, you're never going to get tired of steak if you season it perfectly, cook it in ghee, and give it that perfect sear.
Yeah.
So you have this, the way that you edit your videos, it's like they're super aesthetic, they're quick, but then you also break down exactly how to make these dishes. Like Harry and I make your smashed potatoes recipe all the time. And even dude, last week for my girlfriend, we made your homemade ranch recipe. Dude, the best ranch I've ever had. I'm never going back from it.
Oh, that's what I do, because I quit eating ranch and all that shit because of the like oils in it and stuff. Yeah. And I like I'm like, because I wanted to make those wings, because I started working with this spice company that I love, and they have great spices. And so I'm like flirting around on the internet to find like a healthier way, like, because that's, dude, let's be real here. I hate when people on the internet try to front like they create everything. Like, we all just find different stuff and our own. So I like I found a few different recipes I like, and like edited it all to like what I think would work best. And bro, I made it, and like, yeah, it's kind of weird because it's like a yogurt base. I don't know if you guys ever had, the typical fatty ranches back in the day, but I haven't had them in years. But I'm like, bro, for a yogurt base, like, this is really good. So and I'm glad you guys like it, man, because and that's what I'm trying to do, is create more recipes that are, because that's what I learned too with my social media and stuff. The recipes and stuff posts that do the best in terms of food are always the ones that are short, healthy, and simple. Those are the ones that always get the most traction. So that's kind of what I want to gear my food content to moving forward, is just like focusing on that kind of stuff. Like even like the cookbook I've been working on for a while, I'm going to make sure 80% of the recipes like won't take more than an hour, because that's what, high achieving human beings like ourselves who want success, want to do these great things. Like, we don't always have the time to sit down and spend 3-4 hours in the kitchen to make something. Yeah. So here's the blueprint to eating great quality food in a short period of time. That's kind of what I want to put out there.
Yeah. The blueprint's key. Like, I feel like just having a few recipes, you don't even need all that much variety in terms of recipes. Like, if you have 5 that you can just whip up, and 5 recipes, and you know that you go to the grocery store every week and pick up like 7 to 10 things, that makes your life pretty simple. And then if it's good quality food, like, you're going to be a very happy and healthy individual. I'm curious for you, Cal, how many meals are you cooking yourself? That might be a dumb question. And
no such thing as a dumb question.
And how many meals will you kind of repeat throughout the weeks? Because like, I feel like I kind of double up at least once or twice throughout the week.
Yeah, that's actually a perfect question, because for the listeners, because a lot of people on Instagram, they don't realize, bro, I'm not kidding. Well, first of all, in terms of cooking my own meals, 98%. And it's weird because I'm not kidding. Like, before a year and a half ago, dude, I was going out to eat twice a week, with my dad or friends and stuff. And I realized what restaurants are using, what they're putting in their food and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't want to consume that. And back to my other point is, I don't crave it. I'm not craving this when I know I can make something at home for more affordable, more quality, and taste better. But anyway, so I'm probably eating about cooking and eating about 95. I'd say 95 is a realistic number of like everything I eat. And then in terms of variety, yeah, I post recipes and stuff, but that's like kind of because like that's kind of the role I want to use with social media and like helping other people learn a variety. But dude, I eat the same shit 80% of the days, like steak, eggs, sourdough, rice, potatoes, like those. I get my prebiotics or probiotics, whatever, kimchi, kraut, and a lot of fruit. And that's what works for me. Just like I'm eating this. So my little grocery hauls are consistently 90% the same every week. But and that's like you said, and that's a great point people need to realize is you don't need to, a million different things. Find what works for your body and find what you enjoy that you're not going to get sick of, and make those things over and over. That's what I did in high school when I first got into this stuff. And I was able to do that with no even control of the budget or the money or anything, just simply what my mom was able to give me. Yeah. And I made it work. If you find what works for you and, whatever fits in your budget and lifestyle, eat those things. And like you said, you'll be happy, healthier, and feel much better. You just got to do the work. You got to be willing to do the work and figure out what works.
And Cal, are you at the point now, because I know you posted your grocery haul today. Are you do you go like once a week? Do you have it budgeted out? Do you get to that level of detail?
So personally, I should be, but I'm not at that level yet. So I kind of just, I have ideas in my head and I always make a list, but I don't always stick to it. So like, I'll see. So for example, and I bounce around, dude. I love checking out other places. Like another thing is I'm trying to get more local. Like you guys preach it a lot. And that's something in the past I was never really good at. Like I didn't really take that into consideration. So I'm trying to get better at that, but I'll go with like my basic essentials and then I'll add in like if something's on sale or just something looks good that I want. Like I was at Whole Foods and they had a couple hanger steaks and I like never eat those really. So I'm like, oh, fuck, I'll throw those in the cart.
Yeah.
And like the bison steak, I've never had a bison steak. So I'm like, I want to try this, you know? So I don't have really like I have a set amount and I'm around that, and I don't have a set day, but that's because my schedule is kind of all over the place. I don't have like a set structure. I live alone. I like work for myself. Like I do all my own things. But I do recommend, like when I was in college, and I was busy as hell with internship, school, and football. I had set times and a set amount of money, and it was structured, and I stick to it. And I think a lot of human beings, when they're first starting off in this health journey, they need to make it a priority to have a set day or time that they're going to go to the store, and they're going to take time beforehand, 10, 15 minutes to plan out what they're going to get, what they're going to eat. Because I don't know about you. I don't want to put words in your mouth or speak for you, but I feel like we're at a point where we know what we enjoy, we know what we eat, and we know what we need to fuel our body, where we don't have to, it's not much of a thinking problem. We can go to the store and get what we need. But like some people who are newer and starting to learn to cook for themselves and prepare their own meals, they got to do the work up front that we've done in the past, which is planning it out. So plan out your meals for the week or whatever foods you want, write it all out. You can categorize it, proteins, dairy products, whatever, blah, 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 produce, and then, stick to it and get it. And because that's a big complaint. I don't know about if you guys get people that, but I get a big surplus of DMs about like the financials or like don't know what to get or like stuff like that. And it's like, well, I don't know your situation. I can't tell you what's going to work or what you need to get, but you can figure that out. It's doable. Trust me. If someone like me can figure out all this stuff to get to the point where I'm at today, I'm sure everyone else can too. It's just, you got to be willing to do so.
Yeah, we both hear that a lot too. People complaining about the price of like this diet, if it's animal based or whatever. But like people focus so much on just the price of like a ribeye or something like that. And they don't realize that with your style of cooking or our style of cooking, you're just buying real food. You're not buying any of the processed shit on the inner aisles that are really like racking up the dollars that are going to lead to you having a big grocery bill. So and there's very simple things that you can do. Like I know for us, because we the three of us eat a ton of meat, literally average out, figure out how much meat are you eating a week, and then work backwards, and you can throw in different cuts. So like, of course, I wish I could eat ribeyes every single day. I can't, but I'll throw in, I could go to the farmer's market on a Sunday, budget out for a few ribeyes, some ground beef, some chicken thighs, a whole roast chicken, and then you kind of some salmon, and you get that variety in there, which obviously you do a ton of as well.
Yeah, it's essential. It's just like you said, just you got to do the work, set up what you can do and what you can afford, and then plan it out. Even like you said, work backwards and do what you need to do. There's something I wanted. You said something that really stuck to me. And I forgot what I was going to say. Damn
it. You'll remember. Yeah, Clemens, are you going to say something?
Yeah, Cal, I was going to ask you. So post workout, you're no longer protein shake guy. You're like get your meal in.
Yeah.
Almost right afterwards.
So yeah, quick little drop on my philosophy on that real quick. I used to be the supplement. So I was working with a supplement company, and I stopped because I just did it. Like I said, I was like, I'm not using this stuff. I'm not going to promote it anymore. But there is some companies out there that do have great products that I do want to try to work with. But anyway, I was that guy taking every supplement. Now I don't take PEDs or anything, but I was taking every supplement from this company like they would give me, because it was all free. I'm like, screw it. So I'm taking all these like 3 different pre-workout things, these stacking them all up, they call them the stacks, and my energy, obviously I was having great workouts, but after that I couldn't do anything the rest of the day, dude. I was dead, like headache, beat, tired, drained, again, like digestive issues and stuff like that. So, and same with the protein. So when I got on this holistic, way of eating and whole foods and stuff like that, I cut out all the supplements. I quit working with that company. And now if I have a that's another thing too. So I was like protein shakes, sometimes twice a day, every day. Dude, very rarely. Like I'll have a shake on occasion, supplements should only be used if you struggle to eat enough protein. But I'm a big eater. I enjoy food, as you guys know, so I don't need to supplement in a shake. If I have a shake, it's simply because I'm in the mood for it and, you know, something sweet, and I'll have it on occasion. Or if I'm making a smoothie, I'll throw some protein in. But no, I think regardless of your fitness goals, beginner, intermediate, advanced, CrossFit, powerlifting, body, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You should always prioritize real food over supplements. And that's just speaking from my own body and experiences of what I felt doing both.
Yeah, I think the real foods diet is, once you get away from all the engineered food, you realize your gut feels better. You understand what it means not to have inflammation, and it's just a much better way of being.
Yeah, no doubt, dude, 100%. And that's another thing in the fitness industry that's so like fitness and health that, you know, people like us we're trying to make clear to these people is that you don't need all these hardcore supplements and all this stuff. Instead of spending money, oh, that's what I was remembering about the money thing. Okay, I remember what I want to say, but you're right. So you were saying how like people say they can't afford stuff, and it's not, most people, obviously, like, you know, there's the people who do financially struggle, and I know because I've been one of them, and I've lived it for years. But take a step back, look in the mirror, and ask yourself what you spend money on. It's the same people that are saying they can't afford to eat healthy that are going out to eat 3-4 times a week, going to the bars and having 50, 60, 70, $100 bar tabs every weekend,
100%.
Buying new shoes, buying new clothes, all these subscriptions. You know what I mean? Because we're young guys, and like people, I'll get sweated like, how do you afford it? Like, bro, I ain't killing it financially like that. It's just a standard and a priority to me to eat well. Yes. So I don't question what I'm spending on groceries, because I know it's what's best for my body, and it's what's going to help me later in life achieve those higher financial goals. Because if you want to be a high performing person in anything, it all starts with the way you fuel your mind and body and spirit. And yeah, I'm young and don't have tons of money right now, but I'm willing to fuel my body as if I do have the money to do it, because it's only going to help me achieve that goal later on in life. Yeah. So it all comes down to your priorities. Are you willing to prioritize your health and wellness and food consumption over materialistic items, partying, and other nonchalant bullshit? That's something that you got to ask yourself when you look in the mirror. And for people like us, we choose the health is wealth mindset.
Yeah, it's definitely a long-term way of thinking. I think you hit the nail on the head there. It's like, what are you willing to give up to have a little bit of extra money to go spend on really high quality food? And I say this, I probably sound like a broken record, but like, when you make it fun and enjoyable, and you make the food the way you make it, like, do you ever sit down for a meal and feel like you're about to eat something that you don't want to eat?
Never, dude. Never.
Right? Like,
I haven't felt that in years. And I used to feel that when I was on that, like, I guess you'd call it like a bodybuilding diet. I did used to feel that though, when I had just like rice, ground turkey, and like broccoli.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
And I never realized the biggest takeaway from this style of life and eating is the way your body utilizes the calories. I'm not kidding. Because I don't track, but I just know from experience, I have to be eating way more calories than I've ever been eating in my life. I'm talking more than when I played football and was working out for 2 hours a day in college, like more than ever. And I'm not getting fatter because my body is utilizing the calories.
Yes.
Where if you're eating all this processed shit and protein bars and relying on all these other things, your body can't break it down as well. It's literally just science. Like I am always satiated. I never worry about overeating. I never feel bloated. Like, I just eat till I'm satiated, focus on a high protein diet, get my carbs in pre and post workout. That's what works for me. And because I have a philosophy of believing that high protein always, and then carbs and fats are just kind of interchangeable based on the individual. So some people, you know, like carnivore, operate way higher fat, super low carbs. Some people I've seen have success with energy and levels and all that stuff, having a higher carb, higher or low fat. Me, I'm more of a higher fat, low moderate carb. That's like where I perform the best. That's what I started doing. Like in that picture, because that's definitely the most shredded I was. I'm probably a little thicker than that right now because I quit doing cardio all winter. But I still eat the same, and that's the point. Like I still have my abs and everything. Now, if that was 4 years ago, 3 years ago, if I just cut out cardio with the diet I had back then, bro, I'm not kidding. I'd be up to probably 16, 17% body fat, 18% body fat. But this way of life and this way of eating and prioritizing the whole foods, your body loves it. Like our human nature craves it, dude. It's insane. Like, I'm not kidding, bro. Because when I first started doing this and using ghee, because I was that guy who had to use 0-calorie sprays for everything I cooked. That used to be me. You know what I'm talking about? And now I'm using ghee for everything, or beef tallow. And that's so much extra calories, like just in those spoons. Because dude, I don't measure, bro. I slap that shit on there, bro.
Oh yeah, you love it.
And I'm not getting fatter. It is mind blowing, dude. How much fat's in a ribeye? And I eat ribeye almost every day. It's like mind blowing the way the human body can utilize these calories and put them to use. Like that's honestly the best takeaway from pursuing this healthier lifestyle in this terms and ways of eating, is the freedom to like never feel hungry, never like not crave what you're eating. You know what I mean? Like those things are huge to your mental health and your emotions and the way you feel on a daily basis.
Yeah, you literally rewire your palate and just your natural instinct to eat. Like you said, the three of us, because we've been doing it for a while, we have like general, like we could pretty much tell you the average amount of calories that we're eating, but the three of us aren't tracking our calories. Like you said, you eat real food, you eat till you're full. If you get hungry again, you cook more food. And then if not, you just fast and continue throughout your day. And the results are amazing. And that's where I think you're so spot on of like, you're like with bodybuilding, you're taught just like calories in, calories out, but the quality of calorie is so important. Like you said, you're smashing a ton of calories, but it's really good, dense animal protein. Your body's using all of it and it's giving you the results that you want.
Exactly, dude. And that's a thing though, like this conversation we're having right now is something that's not these topics do not have enough light shed on them in the fitness and health industry. And it's all just like a big political game, I feel like, or money game, whatever you want to call it. I'm not even into politics or any of that shit. But these supplement industries are making just so, I mean, it's billions of dollars, I'm assuming. I don't know if you guys know, but the industry's got to be billions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, and they push all these things on you. They find these super aesthetic, PED using people on Instagram and stuff like that. They push the products. They sell because these are what the kids and younger people want to look like. I know, because I was one of them. I lived it. I'm looking at these dudes when I'm like 16, and I'm like, bro, that's what I want to look like. Like, I'm buying their full line of, like, every penny I have, I'm saving to go buy supplements. Like, I was that kind of kid, and it's fucked up. It is. It's a fucked up thing. But that's why we need to keep doing what we're doing to help people realize that your health is much more than a physical appearance. But two, it comes down so much to what you're putting in your body, and you want it to be as natural and wholesome as possible.
Amen. Amen. I think the Whole Foods movement is going to pick up here because people are going to start paying attention to how they feel. And I think that's a much bigger differentiator when you're on a Whole Foods diet versus eating a bunch of junk and supplements and still looking good, but you don't actually feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And like, real quick, because I know we're on a tight schedule, just to wrap it up with another prime example, dude. So in high school, when I got the first time I like really cut weight, like, to get super lean and like really get abs and stuff like that, I was like trying to do a modified keto, but I wasn't eating enough fat. I like pretty much just cut all carbs out, but was still eating chicken and like egg whites. Yeah, that's what I mean. Experiment. Like sometimes you do dumb shit, but you learn from it.
Yeah.
And I remember I was so lean for that time period, you know what I mean? But the way I felt, dude, was terrible. But I didn't know any better. Like I thought, but when I reflect on it, it's like, it's not normal to feel like shit all hours of the day. Like even the workouts suck. You feel so weak. Like, and that's a lot of, and I have friends who like are into bodybuilding. They'll tell me straight up how bad they feel when they're prepping and cutting and how terrible, and they'll straight up admit like it's not a healthy sport. You know what I mean? But for some reason, that's the agenda the fitness industry pushes. This is what fitness is, being a bodybuilder and looking a certain way. And don't get it wrong, I respect bodybuilders. I learn a ton from them, and I love a lot of the hard work and dedication philosophies. Not knocking bodybuilding. If you're about it, go fucking do it and do it to the best of your ability. But they need to quit pushing it as if this is the standard of health and this is the standard of peak physique. Like, no, you know what I mean?
100%.
And what's also interesting too is the golden era bodybuilders from the 70s, that 60s, 70s, 80s, when everyone agreed that bodybuilders looked their best. If you look back at what they were actually eating, they were eating a ton of steak. They were eating the yolks.
Yeah.
They were eating cottage cheese. Like, yeah, of course there was some PED usage, but they're not these mass monsters that they are today. And they were all about the fat and the real animal protein. And you look at those physiques, everyone agrees that those physiques look the best aesthetically.
Oh, no doubt. I 100% agree, dude. And it's crazy. I don't know. It's interesting to see where all this fitness industry goes and health and wellness and stuff like that. I definitely think there's going to be a lot more light shed on it because people are going to pay attention to how they feel. And we're really Caesar. Hey, sorry, he's scratching.
Caesar's a legend. Yeah.
He is. You want to see him real quick before we get
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at that. Look at that face.
I know.
A legend.
Nice pit bull.
He's ready for a ribeye.
Yeah.
The trimmings, dude. I hook him up. He's a good boy.
He's a legend. He's a
Well, I
legend.
know you guys are on tough or tight schedule, so
Yeah, man.
is there anything else you guys want to cover? Is that good? We could always hop on again or do something else. I'm actually starting my own podcast too, so you guys are definitely on the list. We're gonna have to get on there and talk some talk.
Dude, absolutely. Let our audience know how they can find you if they haven't found you already.
All right, so on Twitter, I'm Cal Reynolds. Sorry guys, by the way, I have like a bunch of them. Twitter, I'm Cal Reynolds. Instagram, I'm Cal Will Cook It. And 50 Cal Fit, that's my business page. And then I have Calosophy, which is the page Brad was talking about earlier in the show about mindset and stuff like that. And then TikTok is Cal Will Cook It, which is weird because TikTok's my biggest platform, but I'm never on it. Just not for me. Honestly, Twitter is my smallest following, but that's the platform I love the most, dude. I spend most time on that, man. It's because of guys like you guys, you know. I find you guys on Twitter. Love it. But that's where you guys can find. Oh, also YouTube is Cal Reynolds. So Cal Reynolds, Cal Will Cook It, and then Philosophy are all the names that you notice, whatever. But yeah, that wraps it up, man. So thank you guys seriously for having me on. Great conversation.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thanks for coming on. This was a killer one, and we'll have to do it again soon.
For sure. Thank you.
Gents.
All right, brother. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Have a good one, bro.
You too, brother. Bye.